Well, hello. My name is Njeh Smith. The month is April and the year is 2020. I'm here today because I'm launching my new video log series. I'm launching a new vlog series that's going to be focused on trends, current events, uh, educational, informative highlights, and interesting activities within the aerospace, defense, and medical technology sectors. You might be curious and ask, what qualifies me to provide insight on these industries? So I'm going to, right off the bat here, tell you a little bit about my professional and education background. I have two master's degrees. My first master's degree is a Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering. My second master's degree is a Master of Business Administration. And certainly my undergraduate degree is a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. In addition to both of my masters, I am a prospective graduate of the Advanced Management Program for Senior Executives from the Tuck School of Business at Dartmouth College. I have over 12 years professional experience working at large Tier 1 original equipment manufacturers and large multinational organizations. Industry-leading multinational organizations within the aerospace, defense, and medical technology industries. Some of the companies I've worked for include United Technologies Corporation, which was just recently involved in a merger and acquisition. United Technologies merged with Raytheon Company, and now that new entity is called Raytheon Technologies. But I started out my career with United Technologies as a manufacturing engineer. And over the years, working for Boeing and Medtronic as well, I worked my way up the leadership ranks. And so that's a little bit of a background and context on what I have done professionally and educationally. Currently, I am the chairman of the executive board of Sitkina Group LLC, which is a global startup company headquartered here in the Dallas, Texas metro area. My company has three core business segments comprising exports and logistics services, management consulting services, as well as real estate investing. Within the management consulting segment of my company, I help businesses realize multi-million-dollar reduction in their operating costs. I work with Fortune 1000 through Fortune 100 organizations, and I coach and mentor their leadership teams through execution of cost reduction strategies. My teams and I leverage an operational excellence framework comprising Lean Six Sigma tools. And so we're able to come into an environment and drive measurable bottom line growth through enterprise-wide cost reduction strategies. I also provide aerospace, defense, and medical technology industry-specific coaching, as well as operations function-specific coaching to the Big Four strategy and accounting firms. If you are not already curious, why don't I tell you about today's topic? Today, in this week's episode, is going to be focused on the topic of the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft crisis. For those of you out there in the aviation and aerospace community that have not had the chance to remain abreast with current events within the aviation sector, I'm going to go ahead and provide you some context around recent events that's aligned with our topic today. So in October of 2018, Lion Air Flight number 610 crashed in Indonesia, killing all 189 passengers and crew members on board. And just a few months later, in March of 2019, Ethiopian Airlines flight number 302 crashed in Ethiopia, that time killing all 157 passengers on board. Now, it's important to note that both crashes involved brand new Boeing 737 MAX jets. It's also important to note that despite these two fatal crashes, the year 2019 was still one of the safest years in global commercial aviation history. That's according to the Aviation Safety Network's data. And as a general rule, and according to global general statistics, commercial aviation is by far still the safest means of travel. According to the Aviation Safety Network, the year 2019 was the 7th safest year in aviation history in terms of the number of fatal accidents. And the year 2019 was also the 3rd safest year in commercial aviation history in terms of total number of fatalities. However, to date, the most safe year in aviation history was the year 2017, that incurred 10 accidents and 44 fatalities globally. Nevertheless, I'm sure everyone in my audience would agree with me that any airliner crash is one too many crashes. Moreover, any airliner crash that involves and results in the loss of human life is unconditionally and unequivocally one too many. And so these two accidents across 2018 and 2019 stirred up significant upheaval, and alarm bells went off in the global aviation industry, triggering a root cause investigation for both accidents which occurred in Boeing's 737 MAX jets. So let's talk about the root cause. Essentially, for individuals like myself and you all that entertain and conduct a significant amount of commercial air travel every year, it's important to understand the root cause of such accidents and to mitigate them to ensure that these particular accidents never repeat themselves. So from my professional and educational experience, I believe that there are multiple root causes. However, the biggest root cause that is currently being most scrutinized is the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft's MCAS system. This system counteracts a nosedive caused by the position of the engines on this particular aircraft model. The MCAS system, spelled MCAS, stands for Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, which essentially is a flight control law software that adjusts the horizontal stabilizer trim on the aircraft to induce a downward force to the pilot when the system detects an angle of attack that is elevated in manual operating mode. Okay? Now, also note that this MCAS system has been found to be vulnerable to erroneous angle of attack data, vague pilot training, as well as operating procedural issues. Let me provide some additional context around that. The MCAS was needed on the 737 MAX aircraft because this particular aircraft has a longer fuselage, which allows it to carry more passengers than the other 737 variants of this aircraft. And so, due to the longer fuselage on this aircraft to provide it a larger passenger capacity that required more powerful and much larger engines that are positioned farther forward and higher up on the aircraft wings. Okay? Now, these new engines and their position on the wings induce a tendency to pitch the aircraft nose up above safe aerodynamic levels. Okay? Now, the MCAS system was introduced and included in this aircraft's design by Boeing to correct this extreme nose-up propensity. Evidently, though, Boeing's move to redesign the 737 jet to create a larger passenger capacity on the aircraft has created a new problem in the form of electronic system-induced crashes and accidents. So what are some other root causes? I believe that other root causes would likely include things like revenue quota pressures on cross-functional engineering teams, as well as a culture of prioritizing aircraft delivery schedule over product quality. In other words, senior management pressure to meet sales quota flows down to engineering teams, which cultivates a culture of rushed technologies to the market that could be failure susceptible. So why don't I provide you some updates on the state of the Boeing 737 MAX investigation. The Federal Aviation Administration, also called the FAA, has pulled all Boeing 737 MAX jets from service and has not recertified this aircraft for commercial flight. Additionally, Boeing halted the production of the 737 MAX back in January of this year, in January of 2020. Additionally, component suppliers of this aircraft have taken significant financial hit and financial losses as a result of lost business in the aftermath of Boeing's halting of production of this aircraft. Also, airline customers like American, Southwest, Delta, United, among others, are augmenting their operating plans due to delayed Boeing 737 MAX aircraft deliveries. The FAA has rightfully tightened up their scrutiny on Boeing, and I imagine that the agency will also certainly increase scrutiny on their certification of other aircraft manufacturers like Airbus, as well as smaller aircraft manufacturers. So you may ask, what does the future look like for the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft and for Boeing as a whole? Well, a couple of things have to happen. First, Boeing has to obtain FAA recertification of these aircraft before any one of these 737 MAX jets can take to the skies again. That's number one. Also, globally, passengers and airlines have to regain confidence in this particular aircraft model. Moreover, Boeing has to fix other bugs, other general bugs that are being seen and being experienced in this particular aircraft design. An example of that is the potential tendency of an electrical short in the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft wiring bundle that are located near the tail of the aircraft. Okay? Also, I believe that one or two things are going to happen in the future. There's either going to be a sales peak due to airlines' desperation for the fuel-efficient 737 MAX jets. Yes, they're highly fuel efficient. Or there is going to be a sales struggle experienced by Boeing due to diminished customer confidence in these jets. Now, this may not come as a surprise to you. The 737 MAX's return to service is currently being impeded by the COVID-19 crisis. Okay, so that's going to cause some delays for the recovery and return to service of the Boeing 737 MAX aircrafts. Ultimately, though, I believe that Boeing will learn from this crisis and that they will come back strong. I believe that the company will reclaim their customer loyalty if they make relevant changes to their operating policies. Let me provide you some other general thoughts on this topic. I think that corporate cultures of sacrificing product quality to meet sales quota need urgent mitigation, especially in the aerospace, defense, and medtech sectors. In other words, Boeing and other large corporations must mitigate their susceptibility to prioritizing sales over product quality. Now, this is not done intentionally, and I do not believe that this issue is limited to the Boeing company. But more broadly, large organizations must be more intentional about sustaining a balanced environment between product quality and sales schedule. With that, my friends, I want to thank you for watching this week's episode. And if you found this conversation valuable, I'll be highly grateful if you would click on the subscription button on your screen and subscribe to this channel, my channel. Once a week, I will be posting informative content on this channel to keep you abreast of trends, current events, and other highlights across the aerospace, defense, and medical technology industries. Also visit my company, Sitkina Group LLC's website. The link is available on the bottom of your screen. Check out our company, check out our website, and become better acquainted with the management consulting services that we offer to our clients. Shoot us an email, give us a call, and engage with us. And we can potentially do business together. Until then, I'll see you in next week's episode. Stay safe, stay well, and good luck.